Hey man, my level's super expert. It's super expert, baby. Hey, what's up everybody? How's it going? Welcome back. My name is Oshikorosu and I'm here for you for some more Creator Academy Super Mario Maker 2. Let's go. I've been waiting to make this episode for a while and I have been kind of fighting with myself, but today's episode of Mario Maker 2's Creator Academy is going to be more about what the series is supposed to be, you know, what I want it to be, more about the essence. Let's kind of take a look at it. So today we're going to be looking at a course that I have uploaded, and in the future I would love to be able to take your guys' courses and feature them and say, this is great, this is an example of what we want to see when we talk about making great levels. Or I also want to do a series where we review where we do like a peer review of levels in the world that we play in. And we say, okay, this is like what you guys did, and this is how you could have changed it, and this is how we could have made it better or worse or whatever the situation is. But welcome to a level for you. Now, this wasn't really a level for you, and it's got a funny story behind the name. We'll talk about that after, but let's kind of take a look at it in the editor. We're going to play through the course, and then going to talk about the elements behind it. So let's go. So we're just going to go into the menu. We're going to open up our course bot because that's what we're going to be focusing our play on today. And we're going to be opening up a level for you. So first of all, we're going to play it. How do I edit this? Okay, we go into make. Okay, so welcome to my course. First of all, we're going to play the level through, and then I'm going to talk about the design and the elements in behind it. Okay, so in order to, if you guys didn't know, I'm going to also talk about like the buttons I'm pressing and why I'm pressing them, and we'll kind of talk more about it. But anyways, I did not know this, but if you long press the minus button, it actually plays it right from the start, kind of like Maker 1 used to. So welcome to the start of my level. This was a level I designed. I designed it for myself, even though I called it for you. And this is the kind of the level I made that I thought was fun. And yeah, I don't know if you guys are noticing some of the elements already, but this is a very short, a very sweet level. This is nothing, well, I like to think it's very sweet. I just like short and sweet. I like saying short and sweet. So I'm not sure if you guys have noticed some of the elements, but again, as we go through the level, we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to talk about why the 3 1-ups here was a mistake, and I realized that actually as of recording this episode, because you guys know me, I recorded this episode and I goofed up the first time. For some reason, my computer had changed its settings and my microphone was on a different setting, I guess. I don't know. I lost my microphone. Oh no. I haven't perfected trying that setup there, so let's just kind of we have the power of making the level, so let's kind of just resume it from here. I wanted to test that out more because that feels really fun to do, and it was an unintentional setup. So anyways, let's continue through our course. But yeah, as we go through the discussion portion, we're going to talk about the course elements, what I did, why I did them, and what I think was important to do and what was important to not do in this course. I made it for me because I liked some of the challenge that it presented for me. So I don't just ace it every time. You know, it's a good learning experience, good practice for me. Plus it's also very fun. I don't know if I made that. I made it. Okay, so assuming we brought our key, let's just, because we got the power, you know, we can do this. I'm really hoping Nintendo gives us the power to edit courses that we download. Please, Nintendo, make that a possibility for us. And we get the Fire Yoshi, and of course, the only way to blow that up is with the Fire Yoshi. Hits the switch, and we can progress through the level and get our 1-up. This is the course I made, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Level code was featured earlier. It's going to be in the description of this video, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to show it off after anyways, so no big deal if you guys didn't get the code yet. So let's go to the start of the course, and we'll talk a little bit about the elements therein. This is going to be a bit of a longer episode just because I'm going to do a lot of talking. So sit down, relax, take it easy, grab some popcorn, enjoy yourself, get your notepads out. However you guys want to document and look at some of the stuff I'm talking about, let's go. So one of the first tenets, is that a word, tenet? I don't know what the actual context is. One of the first rules I personally really enjoy observing and following is never make the player wait. That is a huge pain in the butt. Every time you start a level, let's say we had to do this section, okay? Let's just say let's change this level up a little bit. Right now, currently the section looks a little bit like this. When you first start the level, you spin jump, the bomb blows up, and immediately you're ready to go. And the chain chomp actually kind of encourages you to go as well, because if not, you're gonna have to try and get around him, and it's just an unnecessary risk we don't have to worry about. Now, alternatively, if I wasn't really, oops, what? I just got rid of my key. Alternatively, one of the things I could have done was, I am still getting used to using a controller. Please forgive me.
You know, this is one of the ways we could have done this. We could have ended up doing a setup like this, and you know, we obviously wouldn't need the clouds anymore.
So we could have like literally started our setup like this, and been like, boom, okay. But that requires us to have to jump up on time. Plus, if we die, I don't know if you guys are looking at the timer, but I always look at the timer. And from a 500 seconds, by the time we died, at that point in time, you know, it was 8, 7, 6. So we're spending a lot of time just waiting. And if you mess up that jump, it's a pain in the butt. You know, it's a pain in the butt. So imagine every time you made that, or you died down here and you had to restart that whole setup again. This is why I set it up the way I did. So what happens in this setup is actually the bomb goes in and gets crushed by the muncher plants. And immediately, as long as you're holding a jump button, you go up and it's like, boom, you're good to go. It's not even 2 seconds and we're already in the level. Let's go. So that's important to me. So when you're building your level setups, you know, take some time, review that kind of stuff. Say, am I making the player stand here and wait a lot? I don't like waiting. And as I really appreciate levels that consider my personal time involvement. And it's not just because I'm a creator. I mean, everybody's got stuff to do, you know? However, another thing, talking about time, another thing that happens in this section of the level is we actually get a full picture of what's going on before we move on to the next section. This is not always possible to do. However, we can actually look at the start of the level and say, okay, what do we need to do? Okay, if we spin jump on the bomb, what's gonna happen? Okay, we can see a chain chomp coming up top. Everything is visible. There's a lot of communication, and we know that there's spikes over here we have to navigate. Nothing is blind. Nothing is unknown. We're good to go. Now, there's no danger of the thwomp or the chain chomp dropping down. So, well, he can drop in there. Who cares? But again, same kind of thing. We can stop and we can look at the stage and say, okay, what do we need to do? Okay, well, we'll bounce. Oh, the mushroom's doing something cool up there. Cool, man. There's no forced like rush. There's no like, you know, you can stop and chill out and examine the situation. Okay, we'll have to make a jump in there. You know, da. I try and communicate as much as I possibly can in a level, and I allow the player to stop and take a look around. And I mean, a lot of people I think are just focused on the level being difficult. And what happens therein is that they rush the player. The player is like, you know, like let's say it was an auto scroll or something, and the screen was slowly closing in on us. We had to make that jump right away, and then we had to get up here and we had to keep going and go through the course. I don't like that. That's not my style. I really like to be able to give you guys the opportunity to look around and see what you're looking at and see what's going on. So into the next section, speaking of communication, I just took the coin. One of the things I did, and one of the things you're going to notice other creators are going to do, is they're going to use coins to communicate to you. Coins can mean a bunch of different things. It can mean throw, they could be throw signs, they could be jump signs, they could be coin trails showing you where to go. Tons of different things and tons of different ways to do it. I decided to use them as an indicator to show you how many times you had to hit these blocks. Because I did get people who told me, hey man, I played your level, but the mushroom keeps disappearing. What am I doing wrong? And what it was people were doing this and they were coming all the way back over. And at that point in time, they were zoning the mushroom, and the mushroom was, you know, off in La La Land. So I used 3 coins here to indicate that you had to hit this one only once and this one 3 times. It keeps you on this half of the screen with this note block loaded in. and allowing the mushroom to do what it needs to do. Alternatively, I could have forced this just by lining up one ways. You know how you can do.
Yeah, we realistically could have just thrown a one way in and be like, okay, well, you literally can't do that past this point. You know, this is the only way you're gonna do it is to do that once, and then you're forced into this section. However, personally speaking,
somebody mentioned it to me one time. They're like, "Oh, one ways are ugly," and ever since then, I've always thought one ways are kind of ugly. So I never used them. So the coin indicators was my communication method. Now again, I could have done it like this. I couldn't think of a way to make it look pretty, so I just decided to keep them out. Okay, so next decision we put in here was, again, this was a time-wasting thing. You could put a Podobo in here, and you can force the player to jump around for a while and wait for the Podobo to jump up and light the bomb. However, one of my favorite cool things to do is with a bomb and a muncher dropping from the sky. This was unintentionally more difficult than I didn't plan on having a gap down here, even though if you're entering at run speed, the gap is not going to be any issue at all. However, there was no easy way for me to ditch the muncher that fell out of this cloud, so I just dropped a hole into the world, and that created the opportunity there. So to talk about the next part of the level, I'm just going to play right from the start, just really quickly, just to show kind of like the decision making there in that process. And we're gonna talk about different sections of this level as well as we continue to go through it. I'm gonna come back and do one more round through the level and talk about something different because it's important for me to talk about that as well. So just keep watching and stay tuned. We're gonna talk about aesthetics, which is gonna come later on, which is agreeably, honestly, in my live community as well, it's a huge part of level design. It's very important. So anyways, we're at this point here. So what happens is the mushroom, you're faced with a decision. You don't have to get the mushroom. You know, you don't actually have to. It's, I guess I could have communicated better that it was optional by putting a progress. I could have put a one-way here and been like, okay, you can either get the mushroom or you don't have to. Whatever, it's up to you. The mushroom is used for true ending purposes, so you can alternatively risk getting the mushroom by jumping up here and getting it, or you don't have to, because if you do look through the next part of the level, you alternatively could just jump up through here, and you obviously can't go this way if you don't have the mushroom for two reasons, because one, if you didn't get the mushroom, that's going to be closed off, so you can't even go down there at all. But also, if you do have the mushroom, then, or if you don't have the mushroom, you couldn't do it anyways, because the damage boost would kill you. But this part here is, again, these 1-ups were they were bad positioning. I could have done it better, is what I'm trying to say. But anyways, nice little thank you message up here, and we're gonna move on. So we got the key for the true ending. And again, true endings are cool. They're not mandatory, but it's just another neat little way to provide a challenge for those who are seeking it, and to be something not important for those who aren't. Put checkpoints in your levels. Thank you. That's all I just wanted to scream at you guys. Checkpoints are important. Checkpoints are so important. Again, a lot of people who are designing courses are out there designing courses just trying to make a hard course. They just want a challenging course. Hey man, my level's super expert. It's super expert, baby. You know, oh, how did you know, that's so cool, man. Yeah, I didn't put any checkpoints in the level to make it really frustrating for the player. Don't do that. Put checkpoints in your level, man. It just makes it so much more fun. Who wants to do all this, die to a freaking mechanic that's arguably really difficult, and then have to do it all over? Nobody would want to do it. Get the checkpoint. So anyways, checkpoints are important in levels, and checkpoint placements are also important. So one thing that's important with checkpoints, and just while I'm talking about it, if you do have to do a transition, put your checkpoint after. A lot of people will have this set up, like, just let me get some open space on the map here. A lot of people will have this set up here where they have a, I'm gonna use the key as a checkpoint because I already have a checkpoint on the map. But a lot of people will build into a subworld, right? And they'll say, okay, you gotta go to subworld now. Congratulations, you beat the first part of main world. Here's your checkpoint. And they put the checkpoint there, and what happens is you're like, yeah, I got a checkpoint. That's awesome. And then Mario goes to subworld. Actually, let's create a subworld for the sake of this argument. Okay, let's go like this. Here, this is a great little setup here. Okay, so I did my little setup here. So anyways, you're like, all right, I just did the main world. Cool, I got checkpoints. Then what happens is we transition into the subworld, and let's say there's this section here, and you're like, okay, cool, man, I just did it. Oh, heckin' dang, I died. This is a tricky part, man. So again, what happens is you could put checkpoint right here instead of putting checkpoint out here, because every time you die, you're gonna have to go through that transition. And just count with me, 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds of transition every time you die, plus the load up, plus every time, you know, like loading into the level, even like 8, 9 seconds of waste of time every time you die. And some people are out there building really hard courses, and you're expected to die like 100 times, so that's 900 seconds of your life gone, when it's really just 900 seconds of not important, completely avoidable waiting. Put your checkpoints after the transitions, after a door, after a pipe. There are some places where this is not feasible, where like you need to load the level in a specific way, you know, because whatever the case is, there's sometimes where you may want to load a certain Podobo in a certain way to create a running, you know, if you have to do a full speed run momentum section in the level. I know it's not, so whenever possible, try and do that, you know, try and do that. Oh, no, I actually wanted to delete that. Okay, I'll catch up with you guys in a second here. Okay, so now we talked about the importance of where to place a checkpoint in regards to transitions. Also, one thing, when you're building a hard level, again, think about the people involved. Think about the amount of time they have to use. I put a checkpoint right before the double shell jump, because double shell jumps are tricky. I mean, you know, it's not going to be easy to do them all the time. And I died quite a few times doing this setup. So I put the checkpoint there because, and I put a reset door. I mean, it can still be a tricky level with a reset door. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hey, got it. But if you didn't got it, then that's okay, because there's a reset door. And if you happen to actually die during it, oh, oopsie doopsie. Oopsie doopsie. If you do happen to die during it, you can actually just restart right from the checkpoint. There's nothing. We front load the hard tricks, and front loading means like when you first start something, it's loaded right into the front of the start. So the tricky part is right there, right after checkpoint. If you die, that's okay. You don't got to go through a big hassle to get back. I don't know if you guys know me romantically. Probably not, but I'm all about the little things. I'm always about the little things, you know, like, I'm always about like making sure the pillow is fluffed up at night. You know, I'm that guy. I never tell you about it, but I fluff your pillow at night before you go to bed. And that way you get a more pleasant sleep. And I'm all about the little things in Mario Maker as well. So when we talk about the little things, I'm going to talk about this double shell jump setup here. Now, yes, it's got a reset door that's important. But I've seen a lot of people do double shell jump setups, and they expect you to kind of like do this balancing act, as you kind of just see me do it. So the idea is that you're like, okay, I'll bop one, I'll bop the other, I'll jump, throw it up, throw it, try and grab it, try and balance backwards out. You know, and it just becomes this whole hassle. And then if you miss it and you kind of mess it up, then you got these two dudes walking around. There's usually no reset door for these kind of tricks. And you're like, oh, heck, you know, I'm going to die to a double shell jump. I hate this thing. I hate this trick, you know. It's not always the easiest to do. So what I did was I made it so you can do it one of two different ways. Originally, I like to do it like this. And you can just set it up so you can set your linear jump, and you can just do it straight just like that, and no problems, right? You can, and then that way you can kind of set it where you want to set it. Like if you want to stand at the door, you can do it from the door. And if you want to do it a little bit closer, you know, you're like, okay, you know what? I like to do my shell jumps a little closer to the wall. I don't like to do it exactly spaced out. So I want to stand here when I do them. However you do your shell jumps, that setup allows you to kick one shell, set your character position, jump, and then go stationary. You don't have to worry about like, whoa, am I, and then, you know, because what happens a lot of times is you throw the shell too far, you miss it, you know, you're like, oh man, oh, I missed the shell, you know, just kick it, bop it, jump, throw, and then you can set it up whatever is comfortable for you. Alternatively, you can also do it through the door setup where you can grab the first one and then you can just go through the door. It's already lined up. You don't have to, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to readjust yourself. You can do it right from there. So it's about the little things with me, ease of life, quality of life kind of things for double shell jumps or any kind of trick. Try and think of a way you can make it polite for the user. The trick is difficult. You know, we know that it's going to be hard to do the trick. That's cool, you know. But don't make it like obnoxious. You know, don't make me go through the entire course just to go into this setup, not, you know, lose my shell. Let's say we have this, and then this is the setup, and then this big gap down here. So you're like, okay, I only got one shot, man. Oh, and it's super expert, so we don't have checkpoints or reset doors, baby. Welcome to super expert. You know, that doesn't fly. Because now what's going to happen is you're like, okay, well, shoot, dang, you know, I'm going to get one chance. And if I don't make it, then I got to go all the way through this whole course again. Quality of life changes. Make the level fun. Make it engaging, you know? Okay, so we've finally made our double shell jump. We're going to go up to this section of the course here. That was actually completely unintentional in the level build process. And why is one of these guys faster than the other one? You see these guys chomp faster? And this guy over here, he chomps just as fast. I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. I put the on-off switch there, and just in case that you didn't, you know, let's say you were going through the level, you made the double shell jump, but you didn't go for the true ending. I didn't want it to be locked up here, so we just put the on-off switch. It is really no concern. Through it later in the levels. So, but one thing that I did here was I just put these, I put the icicles at the top as a visible ceiling. A visible ceiling. It was very communicated. You can see that as you go in. Plus off the double shell jump, there's no danger of jumping too high. But also I made the decision to put the piranha plants in here because a lot of times what you'll see in a level is somebody will build something like this and they need to build an extension over or whatever. There's a room underneath there for that, for this purpose. And too often is it just a straight run. It's just like literally, why am I walking? There's no obstacle here. There's literally nothing I'm not looking at. I mean, it's literally like a Flintstones 1970s scrolling background at this point. We just don't need it. You know, if that was the case, you literally could have like created the level and you could have cut that all off right there instead and started the level here 20 blocks earlier because it would have just been faster, more efficient, and still achieve the same result. So I decided to put, okay, I can't listen to the springy sound. So I decided to put piranha plants up here just as something to do, just to keep you going, just enough to keep you engaged. You're like, okay, well, all right, we're here. And again, guess what? We're back here. We can stop, there's no rush, we can look around, we can say, okay, what do we need to do? What's going on? Obviously, I don't know what's going on with those thwomps, but it looks like I probably can't jump into that saw blade, you know, and if you do happen to venture down, it's death. Alternatively, I could have put a preview door here, and I could have put like a preview section here so you could have seen that these guys had, I don't know, I wish Nintendo gave a visible cue about the parachute. Even if it was like a little blue pad on the left or right to show that he had a parachute. I don't know. Anyways, this section here again. So, I don't know. I like this section. It's a little bit tight, but it's not so tight that it's like impossible. And, arguably, it is a difficult trick. However, it's the last thing in the level to do. So there's no need to put a second checkpoint up here just to precede one trick, right? I mean, there has to be some level of, you know, there has to be some degree of difficulty in the level, and you can't just literally put checkpoints between every position in the level. So, so we have this one trick here. Now there's a transition from up to down, back up, up to down, to up to down, and then a jump. So, you know, you're kind of making like a toggle and you're doing it twice. You're not doing it so many times. You're just like, because I know a lot of times you'll get to a level and you're like, how many times do I have to jump and transition, man? Like I'm already, you know, like I've already done it 3 times. How many times do I gotta avoid these freaking saws? You know, because a lot of people will just make this huge, long consistency portion of a level where it's just saw blades and up and down and saw blades and up and down. We did it a couple times. You know, you go down, you go up, you go down, you go up, you're good to go. It's all short, sweet, and fun, and not tedious. You know, not like super obnoxious. I built the level. I should be able to show you guys how to get through it. I feel like I'm a little congested today, so I'm sorry if I sound like, you know, I sound like Garbo. But anyways, again, arrows to point and tell the player where to go. If you don't make it, you fall into the pit of doom. So, I mean, that's one option. You guys seen the true ending where we had here? True ending is, now this is the reason why I said it was kind of a mistake to put the 1-ups in there earlier on in the level, because there's an incentive for you to get the key, so you would get a 1-up here. However, the 1-ups are arguably easy to get, and this single 1-up is not. And at this point, you already have 3 1-ups, so there's like literally no point to getting for it. There's not a lot of coins in the level to generate 1-ups, you know. Is there any? Oh yeah, there's 4 coins at the start of the level. So there's not a lot of coins to, like, you know, really encourage 1-ups. So the 1-up was supposed to be important. It was supposed to be like a really cool thank you for getting the true ending. However, you already got the 3 1-ups, so in hindsight, it's 2020. And a little cute little heart at the end, and we're going to talk about, now we're going to go through the level one more time. We're going to talk about some aesthetics and some other design elements, because like I said, aesthetics are very important in a level. If you ask my opinion, I think it's probably one of the most important parts of a level, as long as it follows like the kind of pseudo commandments, which is an episode I want to do for the Creator Academy. I kind of want to like highlight the do's and don'ts of level creation, in obviously in my opinion, but what I feel is good for the general public on the same front. You know, it's not just like, oh, she says, you know, it's like kind of like I speak on behalf of the community. So I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about design elements. Let's talk about aesthetics. So aesthetics to me are huge in a level. Again, I think they're very important. And if you've noticed in the past, if you've played some of my Mario Maker 1 levels, I really like this this blocky pattern. I don't know why I didn't do that, because I feel like that's more natural. Anyways, I really like this alternating block pattern. I use it a lot, and in the ice theme, I mean, it's ice block, hard block. However, I think it also looks really good in contrast with the castle theme. But anyways, there's a bunch of different ways for you to use this pattern. You can use note blocks, coin blocks, flip blocks, all sorts of different alternating patterns for all sorts of different colors and consequences. So actually just like take a real quick peek at that, and we'll see what it looks like and just how easy it is to quickly attain, how quickly you can kind of like attain that. So like, let's just kind of draw a couple, let's draw a couple boxes here. And let's grab a couple of block styles. You can literally do it with anything, you know. It doesn't have to be, it could be on off. I mean, I see a lot of people doing on off switches right now where they're doing on off switches, and then they're changing some of them to, you know, these this kind of style here, right? Okay, this kind of style here. You can do it with anything. You do it with coins, or you can even do it with enemies, as long as the enemies stack properly. However, enemies are going to chew up your your body count for your level, right? You can build stripes that doesn't, like, you know, it could be literally, like I said, so many different things. It could be power-ups, it could be so much stuff. You know, you do whatever you need to do. However you want to build it, and then you just grab your multi-grab tool, and you're like, okay, you know what? I like that pattern. Let's keep it going, and you just keep it going, and you just keep it going, you know, and you just keep it going. And da-da-da-da-da-da, you got this cool pattern. It keeps escalating through the level. You can now multi-grab more. And multi-grab. Grab it and hit the start of your pattern. And again, and just kind of like go through copy and, you know, copy and paste. And then you have this cool style that... Why won't the multi-grab go away? Thank you. Now you have this iterating pattern that kind of follows through your stage. So that's one way to do aesthetics in a level. Another thing that I really love to see in levels is semi-solids. Semi-solids are great. However, they can be used improperly very easily. And this is another, let's go over to some open space here, some open sky exhibit that we have available to us. And we're going to talk about semi-solids, and we're also going to talk about the mushroom platforms as well.
You know, let's say we have this section here, and then let's put up, let's use a semi-solid as an example as well. We're going to build a couple of these. And then let's just put just for the sake, like I said, for the sake of argument, I'm going to put in a couple walls to iterate what would be like different sections of levels and stuff. Let's actually leave that one open there. And we'll put like a block in here, and we'll put a block in here or whatever.
And this would iterate different sections of the levels that you can go through. And this is how people have... Man. I'm still getting used to using a controller, so... But yeah, what'll happen is like sometimes people will use a semi-solid as a decoration. And I just wanted to highlight like the wrong way to use them. Because what happens is you get into this situation here. And this is called a soft lock. It's not a hard lock. A hard lock would be where your system is jammed up and you would have to reset your whole system. So you would have to press reset on your Switch. That's considered a hard lock, but this is considered a soft lock. And what that means is Mario is locked up here with no other option. He cannot eliminate his life. He can't kill himself to reset at the nearest checkpoint, because if you have checkpoint, that is important, especially when you're playing a level that could be considered difficult for you, you know? Let's say you played my level and you made it through the double shell jump and you're like, oh, I finally made it. I've been trying that trick for like 20 minutes, man. I finally got it. And you're like, yes, I did it. And then you go through here and you're like, ooh, and you accidentally jump up and you end up going through a soft lock. All right, literally the worst thing a player can ever encounter, because you're either left with two options. Your one option is to start and then go restart course, or to sit here and wait out 490 seconds. And who's got 8 minutes to wait for a stupid game? You know, it's better just to die and try it again. Be very careful with your semi-solids. It is important that you do that. One of the ways you can kind of eliminate this from happening is, Mario, get out the way, is you can put a top on your level, and this will literally just allow people to, they can't do it. Can't be done. Can't fall, can't hurt yourself, can't do it. Okay, so that's one way to use semi-solids and things like mushrooms and clouds and any object that Mario can pass through one way properly. Please pay attention for soft locks. It's literally the biggest pain in the butt for anybody ever. So what you can do with semi-solids, a neat and fun thing you can do with semi-solids is you can stack them. As you see here, we have a couple copies of semi-solids. One here, you know, one... You know, just, it's all over the place. You know, you can do whatever you want. But don't forget, some of these semi-solids have transparency. This one doesn't. So obviously, if you stack it, it doesn't do anything. However, if you stack it behind this one here, this one does have some transparency. So you could put, I don't know, you could, let's say you could put two of these ones or something and create a transparency gap there, right? So now you have this little blue peeking out from behind these two semi-solids. That's up to you how you want to use it. One of my favorite styles is using the icicle one and stacking it over top, because I think it looks so good, and it looks so good on everything. Like you can use it on this semi-solid, and you can use it on this semi-solid, right? And it works either way, and I think it looks good. So, you know, get creative, use some design elements, you know, make your level pretty, take some pride in your work, and really show it off. Make it beautiful. Don't just have like flat open sky. Like I do have one open sky section here. It's like one of the only sections in the level, except for the very end. You know, there's a little bit here as well. So with the open sky sections, I just wanted to iterate that there's really nothing wrong with it. You know, like you can definitely have open sky in your level. I'm not like knocking it, because the background also looks really great. Just, you know, mix it up, you know, make a little cave section, you know, put a ceiling on the level and build some stuff, you know, and give it some life. Make it look beautiful. Take some pride, switch it up, you know, put some different design elements in there. So here we have another set of aesthetics, actually right in this section here, while we're here. What I'm talking about aesthetics here was I used enemies as aesthetics, and these saw blades that are kind of here. I don't think you can die to a saw blade unless you were gonna die otherwise. Like, I don't think it's possible to lose it to a saw blade. Unless you were gonna die anyways. Like, if you missed, let's say you missed, I don't know, let's say you were coming to this section here and you're like, okay, whatever, but you over jumped it and you've knocked a block, you might die to a saw at that point in time, but outside of that is pure aesthetics. Another place I decided to use aesthetics was, again, you can find it all throughout my course, throughout the bordering of the level, throughout all different kinds of things and features and places. This is our little trial area. But there's semi-solids and there's block patterns. Just get creative, you know, like build a border around the room and really check it out and try it out and see if you like this one. And if you don't, mix it up, you know, maybe use some POWs or, you know, whatever you got, you know. But I also use icicles up here. Now they are deadly if you just like full jump into them. So that was something. But if you decide to just like, I don't think you can even spin jump into them, and you just decide to spin jump over these guys, they're purely like no danger, no issue. Even if you spin jump on these guys, they're there and it's life is good, you know. You're good. So we same thing here. They're not really, they're designed to be more aesthetic than they are designed to be more like technical. And I hope people kind of like enjoy that. And then the final portion where we're using enemies as aesthetics as well is the Podobos. As you've seen, the Podobos are up and down by the time we get here, but they're just there for show. They look cool, they feel cool. I mean, alternatively, you know, you can also make this look a little bit more menacing with, I don't know,
you know, some saw blades at the bottom or something, you know, you're like, now it's super dangerous, you know, and make sure you don't fall down here. And you can do something like that, and, you know, all sorts of things. That you could line this with grinders. Just be careful though when you do this, because you're also consuming your enemy counts, and you know that's going to be important as well if you're
you know what I mean, if you're looking to like put enemies on your stage, you don't want to run out of enemy count, and elements like this are going to consume that. So you're going to make a little bit of sacrifice in the view of aesthetics. So yeah, there's lots of different ways you can do this. People put coasters in here, you know, just to like highlight a boss area or something. All sorts of different things you guys can do, you know. And I really look forward to seeing how creative the community can be. But yeah, you can like just so many different possibilities. You know, grinders can go on top of blocks and can create different elements there. Get creative. Make your level, again, make your level beautiful. Make it pretty. Experiment with writing. So with that, that kind of coming to a close, I hope you guys learned something about the level design process. We are going to talk about this more. So as always, if you guys have like suggestions of what you would like to see in an episode, please let me know, because I had a very difficult time thinking about what to come up with as an idea for this episode. However, when we created the level, I thought it would be a perfect opportunity for me to talk to you guys and say, okay, oh, the level name, your name. I'll talk about that in a second. You know, it's hard for me to think of like topics, but I do have a couple ideas I want to talk about for Creator Academy. Some of the do's and don'ts. You know, I talked about aesthetics is really important and level design, and we're going to talk about level design as well as we keep going forward, as I keep making more courses. But one of the other things I want to do is I really want to like look at your guys' levels as well. And one of the things I want to do is I want to highlight either really great levels I've played and why I think they're great, but I also want to have a constructive criticism episode where we take a level submitted for peer review, not just randomly take one, and somebody's like, hey, I'm new to this, or I wanted to know what I could have done differently to make it better. And as a community would say, okay, you know what? this is what we like, this is what we didn't like, this is where we think you could change. Obviously, we is like you guys in the comment section, but you know, this is like, instead of putting this, maybe put this over here, and that would cause it to have a different effect, and it would be more enjoyable for everybody. So that's another thing I want to do with the Creator Academy. So it's just going to keep evolving. But as far as the level for this, I called it a level made for you, because usually when I build levels, I guess historically speaking, as I've built levels, I've only really built them for other people, not so much for myself. So going through that, I just put like a placeholder, and it was like your name here. And I was joking with my live stream. I says, highest bidder is going to get the name slot. Obviously I never went through with it. I just kind of was joking about it. And when it came time for me to finish the course, I was like, oh, your name. I was like, what am I going to put here? And someone was just like, oh, just leave it. And I was like, you know, no, I can't. It's like, wait, maybe I can. I'll make a joke out of it, and I'll call the level for you because it's got your name in it. So that's where the name came from. A little bit of storytelling there. And storytelling is important in a level. Tell a story if you can, you know, like if there's a Yoshi with you at the start and you got to drop Yoshi off, give him a door or something, and then make him come through a door later on and make him appear somewhere else, you know, and then, you know, just tell a little story if you can. That's up to you. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. All right, so there's the course information if you guys want to play it. The level code is LYCT7WS1G. Just take your time, play through it, and you know, practice some of the stuff and enjoy yourself. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. But that's it for today's episode. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. The Creator Academy is designed to help you guys get better with creating levels, as well as myself. So help me help you. And if you like today's video, leave me a like in the video, leave me a comment in the section below. Let me know what kind of features would you like to see in Creator Academy. You know, like, again, we're going to talk about an episode of like the do's and don'ts and the examples of how to execute them. But that's going to be for another episode. But yeah, if you guys have ideas like how do you do this, and something we can make an episode out of, let's go for it. You know, let's check it out. But yo, thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you everybody whose name is in the backsplash this video. Your guys' contributions are incredible and huge, and I really appreciate it. Thank you guys. If you liked the video, drop a like. If you guys are new, encourage you guys to subscribe, hit the bell notifications, stay in touch with our uploads. And if you guys didn't know, I live stream on twitch.tv/Oshikorosu 5 nights a week, Sunday through Thursday, and I would love to see you guys hang. That's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.